What's up, spooky people? My name is Gritty and welcome to the Spooky Corner. And today we're gonna be talking about a haunted Starbucks. Alright, so I already did a video on a haunted Pizza Hut, and then I just did a video on Disneyland being haunted. So now I think it's only right that I talk about the haunted Starbucks. So a couple of months ago, I was looking online for some spooky stuff, as I often do, and I came across this haunted Starbucks in Maryland. It was a Reddit post, and they were talking about how they worked in this haunted Starbucks. And I like Starbucks, you probably like Starbucks, so then when you add a ghost in there, I mean, hey, it makes for a good time and obviously a nice spooky story. So without further ado, grab your grande pike place or whatever you like to sip on, sit back, relax, and let's dig in to this haunted Starbucks. So our store is going through some renovation right now, and we're working in this terribly small and kind of gross setup. For example, the water tastes kind of weird, so the shots are disgusting. Well, the customers probably aren't too happy about that. They're probably like, the fuck is this? And there isn't a way to really properly clean the dishes, and fruit flies are breeding somewhere. Ugh, sounds like a pretty ratchet setup. But I digress. Half of the store is being worked on by construction workers, and on the other half we have a temporary setup, and one of our bathrooms is closed off as well. There are a lot of homeless people despite it being a pretty well-off area, and sometimes they do drugs in our bathroom. Sounds like a 5-star Starbucks. A few years ago, a lady overdosed and died in one of our bathrooms, and we always joke that she haunts the place. By the way, the only bathroom that is open is the one that she died in. Oh, you guys got lucky. The other day around 3 p.m. we get a phone call. So this is when the story gets good. This is like my favorite part of the story coming up. The shift supervisor answers and says that a lady is freaking out and crying, screaming, because she said that she is locked in the bathroom and can't get out. Our setup is pretty small right now, so if someone was locked in the bathroom, we would be able to hear them. But either way, nobody was in the bathroom. The line cut off, and we star 69 them, but the line was busy. The shift starts talking about ghouls and all that jazz, and I tell them that they're full of shit, and someone is probably locked in a nearby store and called us by mistake when they Googled the number. Yeah. 20 minutes later, the phone rings again, and it is another woman. She sounds pretty upset, and she asks for one of our shift supervisors that was not there at the time. I won't mention her name, but it wasn't a very common name. I tell her that she recently left for the day and that she isn't here. The lady started screaming, "God damn it," over and over again. So I ask, who is speaking? No, right there, you come with that "God damn it" stuff, I would have cut you off. I would have hung up the damn phone right there. So I ask who is speaking, and she tells me that it is her mother. I apologize that she isn't there and tell her that there's nothing I can do. She screams again, something else about, "That's my kid!" And then the line cuts off. I try to star 69, but the line is busy. I text the girl that her mom called, and she seemed pretty upset. Figuring it was embarrassing family business, I didn't have to make her feel uncomfortable by going into detail. At that point, I have already clocked out, and as I'm leaving, the girl calls me and tells me, now you ready for this? I called this. As soon as I read, like the first time I read the story, I knew what was gonna happen. I called this from the beginning. Now guess what's gonna happen? Guess. You got your guess? Alright, good. She calls me and tells me that her mom is dead. Bum, bum, bum. And her grandmother doesn't speak English. And she called her step-parents, who assured her that they did not call the store. I mean, I'm not happy that the girl's mom is dead. I'm just saying, like, I called it. Like, I'm happy that I knew what was gonna happen. You know, like, you can't, well, I was gonna say you can't write this stuff, but obviously, she wrote it. In my opinion, it is a bit too coincidental to be a prank. And if it is a prank, it's a pretty fucked up prank. The woman calling also sounded to be of a woman around what you would assume would be her mother's age with what her mother's accent would be. As I emphatically tell everyone our store is haunted, people bring up other strange examples. For instance, the bathroom that the woman died in repeatedly locks on its own. Our bathrooms have a keypad lock on the outside and a manual deadbolt lock on the inside, which are completely separate. We do not have the key for the manual lock on the inside. I think only the fire department nearby has a master key. Twice now, we've had the door locked and had to call the police because we assumed someone OD'd or was otherwise dying in there. But when the cops arrived, nobody was in the bathroom. Other times it will sound like someone is in the area of the store and no one will be there. Or someone keeps touching the register touchscreens even though no one is actually touching them. Anyways, believe what you want, but I am growing increasingly convinced our store is haunted and the ghosts are mad that we are renovating their shit. So that is the end of the Reddit post. I loved it as soon as I read it. You get it? I loved it as soon as I read it. Alright, I'm gonna stop. Also, I did hit up Kyra. I asked her, was there any more updates? And she hit me back and she told me that no, she doesn't have any updates because she had transferred like very soon after she made that post. So I was kind of upset I'm kind of upset that you transferred because, you know, you're supposed to be our reporter in the field letting us know what's going down in the Starbucks. But if you wanted to transfer, then congratulations because you got it. And you don't have to deal with any of the ghost stuff. I'm happy for you. So let me know 6 feet deep below in the comments section what you think about this Reddit post. Was it scary? Did you believe it? Did you not believe it? And also, would you work in a place like this? Would you work in a haunted Starbucks? Because personally, me, I would. I mean, besides like the nasty shitty water and the fruit flies and the people dying in the bathroom, like I would have a problem with that. But I don't have a problem with the ghosts. Like that sounds pretty fun because I mean you get to have like you get to experience some little ghost stuff while you're there, and then you get to go home and you get to leave it there. It's not like your house is haunted, it's really just your job. So I mean it's all good, like you don't gotta worry about that. But I did work in a place that was supposedly like kind of haunted because in my previous job, for the job I work at now, I worked at this warehouse that distributed clothes to thrift stores, and one of the rooms was the event room where we'd have all the Gucci and the Tory Burch and all this stuff. And in that room there was supposedly a spirit that hung out in there because my friend worked in there, so I would always be in there like during lunch and during the breaks and stuff. So in that room there was supposedly like some paranormal activity going on with like there was these racks on each side of the room where you have all like dresses and skirts, and people would say, not just my friend but other people would say that they would hear stuff and they would even see stuff in this room, like most notably a shadow person walking in between the racks. Now although I never saw anything when I was in this room, I did hear something one time. I remember that for sure. I remember like sitting there at lunchtime with my friend, like we're face to face, and then I hear something go on way in the back and I'm like, what the hell was that? Because I know nobody's back there. And she just looked at me like, you know. So I did kind of work in a haunted place, but it wasn't that haunted, you know what I mean? So that is all the time I got today for the Spooky Corner. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and of course, come back next time for some more spooky stuff. Ugh. Look at this pimple. I'm gross. I wish there was real Starbucks in this cup. There's just water in here. And I did that shot where I spit it out and I got mad water all over my floor. I don't know why. I could have just not put the water in my mouth. I could have just made the sound. I'm Triple H. You ready? I'm gonna make another mess again, but... That was unnecessary. Motherfuckers want to play music while I'm shooting. Had to shoot this twice. Yuck. I'm ugly.